What's up, everybody's favorite pilot's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at Star Wars Black Series 6-inch TIE Fighter pilot and Resistance pilot, and this is kind of be just a little bonus episode, so let's just get right into it. TIE Fighter pilot comes with this pistol, single cast, but does have a black gloss paint on it and a silver paint on it, which is nice. Nice to have a little variety. No holster, which is kind of a bummer, but he does hold it well, as you just saw. Starting at the head, we got a ball hinge. Works fairly well. Not a whole... no, it does. It gets you up fine. So yeah, that's pretty good. It was just tight, so that's okay. You're going to be a little limited going out this way because this is connected to this, but you turn the torso and you can get around it. Going the other way is no problem. The hose is a softer plastic, but it feels sturdy enough where it's not going to break on you, and then it's painted, and then we have silver paint. The eyes are painted as well to kind of give that translucent lens look. So that's cool. The shield does not move, but it is sculpted. Silver there is painted. Moving down to the torso, we got this one ball joint here. Get you the swivel, but nothing really else. Not a whole lot side to side. A little bit back, not a whole lot forward because of this. This is all painted well, and then all of this has the black gloss finish, which sometimes is a little touch and go. Not just here, but there as well. Doesn't bother me, but figured I'd point it out. Let's see. Two different types of white paint. Like it's like probably a gray, and then a darker gray, a white, a blue, a red. As you can see, the white got a little out of control, but for the most part, all this is done fairly well, and individual results are definitely going to vary. We got the tamper symbol on there, which looks good. Little first order symbol. Looks good. Ball hinge shoulders actually get you fairly good articulation, given that this piece of armor has to go up underneath that piece of armor. It actually does fairly well, and then the swivel's intact. So, not too bad. For the flight suit underneath, it looks like it's washed to me, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's a gray with a black wash. That's pretty interesting. No bicep swivel, but you do have a swivel above the elbow, which works just fine. And then the elbow gets you just shy of 90 degrees. So not perfect, but not the worst thing ever. I don't know why with this armor they're putting this there and not here. If they put, like, if the hinge was right in there, right there, as opposed to here on the side, you would be able to get the full range. I don't know why that they're doing this. I'm not sure. This is the same thing they did on the Stormtrooper one. Just don't get it. Wrist swivel and hinge back and forth. Pretty good. Same on the other side. And this hinge is also back and forth, so identical. The belt is a separate piece that's glued on to the bottom pelvis, it seems. Softer flaps that make up these flight suit pieces here. They don't really get in the way of the T-jointed ball joints because this actually is more problematic, but even for this one, they don't go out very far. Which for a pilot, I kind of think is okay. I kind of think that's enough for a pilot type character, like a military pilot type character. Like, you're not going to do ground assaults, you know, this particular guy. So, I don't know. I'm okay with it. Not optimal, obviously, but I'm okay with it. But the soft plastic here doesn't really stop the thigh swivel. The only problem that you have is this belt that you can kind of move out of the way a bit. I guess. Yeah, it's in the way. It's in the way. All these wrinkles and stuff are sculpted pretty well. They're a little bit more dull in this piece and in this piece than they are, like this. I feel like this is much more crisp line work down in here than up in there. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that look a little dull to you? Looks a little dull to me. Like here, the pelvis and these upper joints, but the lower joints look good. I don't know. Knees are double jointed knees, getting you the full range, so that's fine. Glossy finish on the boots, which work well. Ankle tilt and rocker to the nth degree. So all in all, pretty well. I like him better than I like the original trilogy TIE Fighter pilot because this guy actually stands pretty well. The little notches that work in the ankle tilt are not nearly as problematic. I say that there. And then the Rebel pilot helmet stays on, but this piece does flip up to reveal like a little bit of mouth and stuff underneath there, and you can flip it all the way back if you want for that sort of a look. The helmet itself is painted really well. It looks like it's been... I don't know. I'm going to go with dry brushed. I'm going to go with this green being the real color and the brown was dry brushed on top. That's what I'm going with. And it's like, you know, I'm using the term dry brush fairly loosely. Like there's a good amount of paint on there and they're just going for it. And then all the symbols are done. They did dry brush on top of the symbols. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because the wear on this helmet shouldn't be the same as there. Do you know what I mean? Like this, like underneath that white should be the brown and the green. Not the brown coming on top of the white. So that does throw me off. I don't care for that. Sculpt on there looks good on the face. And the sculpt like underneath there, like that flight suit part, looks good too. Ball hinge, neck, works pretty well. Swivel all the way down to there, all the way up to there, so that's good. Torso, you don't really have much. I guess you can. That don't feel good. That's a bit problematic up in there, but the suit has all been washed, like the jacket and stuff, and then this is another piece that's put on, and that's kind of done the same way this is done, but it works a bit better. Same as the belt, and then the silver is added on top, which is like they take these. See, I don't know, because this looks like it's done the opposite of that. This looks like it was a dark brown plastic and then they dry brushed it with the green. This looks like it was the green plastic and they did the brown over top very loosely. I can guarantee you it's that, actually. Look, thinking about that white a little bit more. Which is just not the best way. And then the jacket was washed, which ends up looking great. Ball hinge shoulders, which worked perfect. No problems there. No bicep swivel once again, but you do get the elbow swivel, which works okay. This is a poor cut though, so it started to split here. Do you see that? So that's unfortunate. Posed, he'll be fine. Wrist swivel and hinge in out, and then this one has up down, I believe, or is this one in out too? No, this one's up down, which is the way it should be. One should go up down, one should go in out, just to give you the options. T-jointed ball joints for hips, which given this soft plastic you get hindered a bit, but they still work fairly well for a flight, pilot officer type of unit. And then forward. Actually, I don't know if I showed the TIE Fighter forward. Forward is much more limited. That's much more problematic because like if they come out with a ship or something, it's going to be hard to sit him in it. The TIE Fighter pilot, forward's no problem. Probably because he is a copy of the mold that comes with the TIE Fighter, I would imagine. So they probably had to make him be able to sit. Double jointed knee, getting you the whole range. These pants, the wrinkles and stuff are all done well, but I think they might. I don't know. They look a little worn. Do you see that? Can you see that up in there? They look a little worn, so I don't know if they got a light dry brushing or not. For the boots, they were washed. That's obvious. And then you get a tilt and a rocker. No problem. He does come with this one accessory, which is a single cast silver piece of plastic dry brush with the same brown. They probably did the gun when they did the helmet. That would be my guess. But the gun ends up looking... The helmet doesn't look bad. I mean, I don't think it'll bother you on a shelf, but when you start really thinking about it, like it's starting to piss me off. Final thoughts wise, they're definitely worth their price point. If I had to suggest one over the other, I'd definitely suggest the TIE Fighter Pilot. He just kind of works better across the board. The Resistance Pilot, just the hips get a little ate up from that jacket that he's wearing. You just don't get as much bang for your buck. But they're both pretty cool figures. My only real issue with the TIE Fighter Pilot is when they do stuff like this. So you have a pistol, and then you have this holding hand. Well, like, it's gonna look ridiculous if you have him holding the pistol with two hands. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if there's a way to really get that to work. It just doesn't look appropriate. And then you have this hand that's just out to the... You know what? Given the politically correct climate that we live in, it's probably that they have to have it available to hold in both hands so that you don't offend left-handed people or right-handed people. Because then they'll they'll take to their Twitter and their Instagram or what have you, and they will become your run-of-the-mill hashtag activists. Ooh, can you believe what that YouTuber just said? Oh my goodness! I could write a senator. I could organize a group of people and march on Washington. I think I'll tweet. I'll make a tweet about it. That's what I'll do. That'll learn them. Boycott anti-left-hander hashtag left-handed feels hashtag left for all the right reasons. But it's just a small gripe of mine. Like I feel like they could get away with more. Like if they did like fist hands or like posing hands, you could have a much more dynamic display when you only. Now if you have 2 weapons, you got to have 2 holding hands. You know, you got to have the capability to hold them. But if you're only coming with 1 pistol, do something fancy with the other hand. That's your time to kind of take. You have a rifle, I totally get 2 hands because you can pull off this. Works just fine. Totally get it. But they're definitely worth their price point. There is still a lot of interesting stuff going on here. I actually found out some information as to why they're able to get away with this much detail and paintwork in their price point as opposed to a Marvel Legend. But I'm going to hold that information until the next review, just to have something exciting to talk about there. We're going to be looking at Hux in the Alien Pilot, but that's not going to be for some time. But give you something to look forward to. Other than that, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.